It's 2 a.m. You are lying in bed, completely relaxed, minding your own business, and out of nowhere, your brain hits play on a video from 8th grade where you waved back at someone who was actually waving at the person behind you. You didn't ask for this. You weren't even thinking about middle school, but now you're staring at the ceiling, physically flinching, 11 years later, at a wave that meant nothing to anyone except you. Why does this happen? And why does it always happen at 2 a.m., specifically when you have nowhere to run and nothing to distract you? The real answer is that your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's doing something it's actually built to do, just at the worst possible time. Psychologist Dorothy Bernson, who studies what's called involuntary autobiographical memory, found that these random unprompted memory flashes are incredibly common, and they show up far more often when your mind is idle. No task, no scrolling, no conversation, just you and the ceiling. That empty space is exactly when your brain goes digging through the archive. And it does not dig gently. Here's the part that feels almost personal. Your brain isn't randomly picking memories. It's biased toward the embarrassing ones. Psychologist June Tangney, who has spent years researching shame and embarrassment, found that these self-conscious emotions are uniquely sticky compared to other feelings. Embarrassment isn't just, you did something awkward. It's your brain flagging a moment where your social standing felt at risk, and evolutionarily, social standing used to be extremely serious business. Getting laughed at by the group wasn't just uncomfortable. It could mean losing status, allies, or protection. So your brain treats embarrassing memories like important documents. It laminates them. It never throws them away. And apparently it enjoys pulling them out for a surprise reread at 2 a.m. But why tonight? Why not during breakfast or in the middle of a meeting or literally any time that wouldn't ruin your sleep? This is where sleep science gets involved. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker, who studies sleep and memory, found that your brain spends the nighttime hours actively sorting and consolidating memories from the day, deciding what gets filed away and what gets reinforced. The problem is, this sorting process isn't picky about mood. It'll grab a completely random old memory just as easily as a new one, and at night, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain in charge of, hey, maybe don't spiral about this, is significantly less active. Translation: the part of your brain that usually talks you down is asleep on the job, while the part that hoards cringe is working overtime. So you get the full unfiltered replay. No calm, rational narrator standing by to say, nobody remembers this, it's fine. Here's the twist that actually makes this a little less brutal. The memory replaying at 2 a.m. isn't more important than any other memory. It just feels that way because embarrassment creates a stronger emotional tag, and stronger emotional tags make memories easier to retrieve, especially when nothing else is competing for your attention. You are not being punished. You're not secretly a bad person for waving at the wrong guy in 8th grade. You're just experiencing a well-tagged file getting pulled at an inconvenient hour by a brain that has genuinely no concept of good timing. So next time this happens, and it will happen again, you don't have to fight it or spiral with it. You can just notice it for what it actually is. Not a judgment, not a verdict. Just an old, overly protected file your brain decided to open at 2 a.m. for absolutely no good reason. You didn't choose to relive that wave. But you can choose to let the file close on its own and go back to sleep knowing that whoever you waved at almost certainly does not remember it either.